I'm just trying to go out there and really show other athletes and other people out there just the difficulties and the struggles with being an athlete and trying to do your everyday life and growing your athlete brand and trying to do what you do. So let's kind of get into it a little bit here.
Okay.
Why don't you tell me a little bit again? Let's kind of just talk a little bit about yourself. Mention your name and a little bit more about your story a little bit more.
My name is Jajuan Harley. I'm from Tallahassee, Florida, capital of Florida. It's a very small town. Um, but yeah, my story is very. I catch myself feeling like I'm watching a movie. It dates back to I remember as a little kid. I used to get hit last sometimes and how I had to prove myself. So I realized at an early age that my story will be proving others that it's possible, facing the odds. In Tallahassee, I came out. I was one of the top athletes in the country, playing safety. I was ranked number one, I believe, in fastest safety. At one point, I was ranked in the top 100. Broke my foot and ranking went down. Received scholarships from everywhere that you could think of, and I chose Florida State. I was fortunate to be raised in a two-parent home. Unfortunately, my dad, he contracted a lung disease at an early age. So that's another way my perseverance became my strength. I witnessed him going to work every day, and to provide for us, he inhaled chemicals called asbestos. They did HVAC. And at an early age, I had to realize that I had to step up to the plate. I had to become a man at an early age, I feel like. And, I just had to learn how no excuses. You have no excuses in life. You have to just keep pushing. No matter what, you keep pushing. That's what you show each and every day. Went to Florida State for 2 years. Experienced some difficulties there with health. I got a heat stroke and two swollen kidneys. They didn't know it at the time. I kept pushing. I wanted to play so bad. But the thing is, like I tell young athletes going to college, you have to learn about your health. You have to learn what to eat, how to drink. And I wasn't guided at that time. So I learned the hard way. And throughout the story, you will figure out that I learned through my trials and tribulations. Not by choice, but it's something I realized that the purpose is always bigger than me. So now I can always teach a youngster how to take care of their body when they're going to the next level. So I went there for 2 years, posted changes and everything. Then I transferred to Middle Tennessee. I was there for 2 years, had to sit out a year. And from there, I played 1 year, opted out, wanted to help my family. I feel like I had a great chance. While I was in college, it wasn't easy. It was tough for me. I remember in college, one of my coaches said, "I'm going to break you. You're going to play how I want you to play." And this is after I had the outstanding spring award. I had a great performance. So my year that I actually played in college, I started 8 games. Never really finished the game. I always got pulled out towards the end. Never got completely. They played in 12 games. I ended up with 74 tackles, 3 interceptions, a couple of forced fumbles and fumble recoveries. So outstanding numbers for a guy who really played 8 games. And I opted out, and I left. I dropped out of school, and I had a great pro day. Got my name out there, became my own agent. Not by choice, but it's something you have to do. You have to make adjustments, do excuses, and throughout that process, I learned a lot about myself, about perseverance. Learned that if you want something bad enough, you will find a way. You will find a way. So I was able to get to Seattle rookie mini camp, a private workout at Denver Broncos, and I said, you know what, I need some money, so I worked at Walmart, tore the part there, and just slept in my car for times to get extra hours, and then I got signed by Buffalo. Went from being 7 on the depth chart, worked my way up to Second Street, fighting first. But unfortunately, it was bad timing. They signed guys for millions of dollars, and I'm getting them a contract, so they already had their investment. And then I called back trying to get another chance, but they said we thought you'd be picked up by now. So I had to keep grinding. Got on some arenas. Recently, I signed. I was on Packers emergency list in 2017. And right now I'm still grinding. Throughout this whole process, I went back to school. I got my degree. So I take some master courses. I have my own business called Make Adjustments, Delete Excuses. Throughout my life, that's what it's about. You can't go nowhere in life without making adjustments or delete excuses. So that's what I brand myself on. And as I'm going now, my business has been running since 2015, and right now I'm working on hiring my education. My ultimate goal is to become a doctor. And like I said, right now we contact some NFL teams now, and we just persevering. Another persevering story is my mother. She beat cancer. That's one of the greatest achievements I was able to witness. That was a great achievement. For her to be with my pops who passed 17 years of have lungs deteriorated because of sepsis, and he passed, and then less than a year later, she's diagnosed with breast cancer, and she beats that. So as you can see, my journey, my life is built on perseverance, and that's pretty much who I am.
Yeah, perseverance. I see that being. I see that being. I think it's hard for the fans to understand the back end portion of it. They just see it as athletes saying, "Hey, we're making a lot of money." They're making a lot of money, so they look at it as, and they say, "Oh, they have blah blah blah." They can go through it. When in reality, it's hard. Yes, you could make a decent amount of money, but you work really hard to get to that level, and you really need to push yourself a lot of years with very little return before you kind of get to that point you want to be. And it's all about learning and growing. I think that with every and I see the same thing in the business aspect. It's all about learning and growing. There's so many schemes out there that say, get quick rich, and if that was the case, everyone would be a billionaire,
Yeah, it's true story.
So with that said, what are you most excited about right now with where you're at and what you're trying to do with your career and with your family and things of that nature?
I'm excited. Each and every day, I feel like it's an opportunity to enhance lives. That's basically what it's about. Have my family give encouragement. Like for instance, I'm always if you read anything I wrote about, I'm always going to mention something about my family, my mother, my father, because I learned so much from them. And, it just helps me learn more about being the rock. So each and every day I get to wake up and show them that, okay, everything's okay. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep persevering, and that's why I like that I get to spray each and every day because I'm a trainer as well, personal trainer and nutrition and life coach, all in one. So each day I get to wake up and help somebody get better physically, mentally, and spiritually. So at the end of the day, I just love enhancing lives, and that's what I need to do.
Yeah, helping people. No, I totally agree. So with that, how do you define a really good athlete brand? Like, how do you really see? You can use you as a reference. How do you really see yourself as an athlete brand? And what is the main goal that you're trying to achieve in regards to, I guess, perseverance? But how would you kind of relate that to your to the fans out there?
Well, as an athlete having a brand, everyone looks at an athlete and says, "Wow, they get to live a dream, many dreams that no one gets to do, and they get to have fun doing it." And I feel like as a brand, you want to use that to help. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, use our stage. It's a stage. It's really a stage that you are privileged to be on. And my goal is to get back to that stage, to be privileged. And I know it's a privilege to be there. But for that brand, it's just what you want to do is make sure that each and every time that you have that stage, that you're using it to a credibility to help others. It's not about you. The purpose is always bigger than you. But whatever that brand is, you want to make sure that it's helping others.
Mm-hmm. I like to use the word. One of my words I like to use a lot is leverage. Like to leverage the brand power that you're kind of getting on and off the field, that you're enjoying doing, and use that as sort of a free way of marketing to kind of bring yourself to a point where you're being able to reach a larger audience than the normal person was, because you have a lot of, yes, it might come about being with stats and stuff is the first way you reach these fans, but there's no way to say that why can't you leverage that to kind of bring into the ability to tell your story in a way that can kind of bring people hope and joy and motivate them. And why not leverage that at the same time to grow a business? That you doing personal training is a huge step in that direction, I think, because that kind of helps people see you're helping people. You're helping people feel motivated. You're helping people grow. Somewhat of what I try to do with my business is I'm no professional athlete. I can still consider myself an athlete, but it's bringing both your passions together, and kind of doing how do you do this and how do you work with people. So what would you say you took a lot of your motivation from? Is there an athlete out there, another athletic brand that you've become one of your favorite that you tend to watch on a normal basis and try to follow in their footsteps?
Man, many athletes come to mind, and one brand in particular, and the brand I'm gonna say because I'm gonna speak on my own brand, make adjustments, delete excuses. That's something I really want to push out. That's a brand that I feel like if you want to really harp on because that's everyday living. Nothing will always go your way. You always have to make a left turn when you want to make a right turn. You want to keep it straight, you have to make a zigzag. But and what it leads to, the athlete side really admire. You have to go back in the history book. I'm a big fan of Jack Johnson. I'm a big fan of Paul Robeson. I'm a big fan of Sir Archie Moore. I'm a big fan of James J. Brada, a.k.a. Mr. Cinderella Man. And I'm a big fan of Muhammad Ali. And you'll probably ask me why. I'm a big historic fan, but these guys, they had it worse than I did. You're talking during a recession that James J. Brada, a.k.a. Cinderella Man, who lost everything. He was on top at one point, lost everything due to recession. All this way back, everybody counted him out and became the heavyweight champion of the world. You had Sir Archie Moore, who was a boxer who didn't get his chance till he was almost 40 years old, and he kept that championship belt, that light heavyweight championship belt, for about 12 years. And the things Muhammad Ali went through, Paul Robeson, who's also an athlete, but he was an activist, he was an actor, he was a musician, he was such and such. He had so many things going on. So these are the athletes I look up to because I want to be able to push this to the next generation that you can be more than an athlete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes total sense. So when you look across the athlete landscape right now, what's one thing that you think that more athletes should be doing to kind of help build themselves up?
Get in more tune with the fans. Converse with them. You have fans that sometimes they'll send you a message or something, or comment on your picture or something like that. Feel free to say something to them. If it's just, hey, how you doing? Or just a thank you, or just something. Make them feel like you are connected to them. Because honestly, let's be honest now, if it wasn't for the fans, who would pay attention to the athletes at the end of the day? That's what helps with the salaries, and that's what keeps the business going in the sports world, are the fans. So you do have to pay homage to them, Even if you're going out in public, you're going out shaking hands, you don't have to do it with a picture or nothing like that. Just make them feel like you are not above them, you are right there with them. Seeing eye to eye. That's the main thing I always preach. Since a little kid, always I was raised custodian. It's the same respect as the CEO. So therefore, you're never above anyone, and no one's below you. Treat everybody the same. And I feel like when athletes do that right there, that expands their brand tremendous.
Definitely, and I think with the not even going out into public, but just with the way the trends are and technology growing and the way digital marketing is growing in general, I feel like it makes it that much easier for athletes to be able to reach their fan base. Why let ESPN and NFL.com, be able to go out and say all these stories. Say these stories yourself. You can go out and you can say these stories yourself, and have fans interact with you and let them understand, especially younger athletes that are looking to really push themselves. So I totally agree with you on that one. So with that said, and going off of what you just said with kind of pushing athletes to reach out to the fans more, what would be your best advice for athletes? And you kind of already said it within the last question, but if you want to advance on it a little bit, some advice on ways they can kind of reach these fans to leverage their personal brands a little bit better?
I really believe, we have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, Snapchat. We have so many things. I truly believe in LinkedIn. Of course, LinkedIn connect me to you.
Yeah.
So I really feel like using, your social media is a great aspect. I encourage everyone to, athletes or even those that are in business, LinkedIn, and just spreading your word. Using.
So what's the what would be the number one? And you kind of keep going into my next question that I kind of. So you would think right now is your number one tool you're using right now to reach teams, to reach as you're trying to go for your degree and things of that nature. Would you say that that's LinkedIn is your main source?
Yes, I definitely will. Of course, I use Gmail. That's the first thing. You might say that's introduction to LinkedIn, because when I was able to get in touch with NFL teams before, I used to start off with handwritten letters that I typed up and I sent to Buffalo. That's what got signed there. To get in touch with scouts. Now, after that, I sent in personal emails. I was able to mastermind and figure out every team email address. And then I was told by my wife that the start of LinkedIn is more professional and it's more connected to those you need to connect to.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did that, I still use social, Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. But once I did LinkedIn, it connected to who I need to connect to. Outside of football, more of life and business, because after sports, you have to have another life. And it's connected me, grooming me to where I need to be and what I need to do. So I encourage everyone, not just athletes, to bring yourself with LinkedIn. It connects you to the right people.
Yeah, LinkedIn definitely to me is one of those underutilized platforms right now for LinkedIn. For athletes themselves, and I've actually thought the same thing as you when I've been trying to reach out to work with athletes, because I've noticed that it is more professional and it's made to be professional. So letting them know, hey, I'm not just coming after you as a fan. I'm coming after you because I want to work with you and help you grow. And I think it's a great,
Absolutely.
it's a great spot to kind of drop that first guard on, saying, hey, I'm definitely a fan of you and all that, but at the same time, I'm definitely willing to work with you, and I want to be able to help you grow your business and what you're trying to do in the field. So last question, based on your knowledge and experience and expertise, what do you think the future of athlete branding and marketing, like what do you think the future entails for and I know it's probably a hard question to answer, but what do you think is the future of it?
Oh man, the future of it. Wow, this is I don't want to say, because I know I have a lot of PRs that want to hear this and stuff, but when you actually, the future is everything's in the athlete's hand. It plays right into their hands. If I want to get in touch with someone and say, hey, I'm hosting a camp, I really don't have to have anyone to push it out for me. Mm-hmm. Once I build my followers up, I just post, hey, I'm having a camp at such and such, be there, be square, and they'll be there, or I'm hosting a Matt Tag giveaway, be there or be square, stuff like that. So with the social networks, it's to make everything easier than it would 10 years ago, 15 years ago, because then you really had to go by word of mouth. Now just click a button and everything you need is out there. You have control of it. It shows your personality. However, the con of it, that's the pro, but the con of it is that if you're not smart with it, it could really damage a person's brand. Not just athletes, but a person's brand. It definitely can. You push out the wrong things. So at the end of the day, it has its pros, it has its cons. I love it personally because no one knows me better than myself. So I can post what I think fits me. And then the con is if a person who's still trying to figure out who they are as a person, it can really harm them in such type of way.
Well, perfect. Well, I want to thank you again for being on the show. If you want to say again, maybe announce out some of your handles that you kind of use to get yourself out there, and let me know if you have any more questions for me.
Absolutely not. I just want to thank you for the invite. It's just a great honor. This really is a great honor. For everyone out there, I have blogs out there that really shows my testimony of going through trials and tribulations. At my website at www.jajuanharley.com, and it can encourage you in different ways. And that's always the ultimate goal, always enhance lives. So, like I say, I really thank you, Mr. Kobe, for inviting me here, and hopefully this interview can help someone in some type of way.
Mm-hmm. Definitely agree, and I thank you again for being on the show.